make you everything you're fighting for.
About that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful week of NAUSL matches. I'm joined by my co-caster Nrage. My name is Albatross. Nrage, how are you?
Hello, everybody. It's Nrage here. I'm doing great today, Albatross. Thank you for asking. Today we're bringing you a very exciting match. I do. And yeah, it's because of this amazing matchup we've got here tonight. We are bringing you NCSU versus UMCP. In just a little bit, going to be starting off on Oregon, one of the most popular maps we've seen in the league thus far. Definitely a common pick here just because of the amount of work that you can put in on this map. There's a lot to get started here. So, Albatross, what do you think?
Oregon is a map that is very simple, but there's a lot of complexity to it. In that simplicity, where teams can do a lot with like slight variations in how to hold it. Looks like both of our teams are ready, so we'll be starting here pretty soon. Yeah, UMCP ready. Whenever Eagle is ready to begin, we'll get right into it. First map is Oregon. Second map is Border. the favorite combo of the league.
Absolutely, and we've seen that combo repeatedly, and that is due to just the popularity of those two maps and also the amount that they get played both in casual, competitive, and also in Pro League. We've seen them here, we've seen them on the big stage, we've seen them just about everywhere.
I'm excited to see what the teams have in store. We've not, I believe, featured UMCP or NCSU on the main channel yet. They're both very excited to be broadcasted amongst the person. Wait, no, two persons. We have two viewers now. So, Anyway, getting into our first map, we'll see the bans come out. NCSU is on the attack first. UMCP is on the defense. Let's see what they have in store.
And one thing to note about these operator bans, if you're new to Rainbow Six Siege, that actually takes an operator out of the game entirely for not only your half of the map, but for the enemies as well. So there's a lot of strategy involved here.
Line will get banned out. Pretty common for the league. I believe it's got to be at least a 90% ban rate, if I were to estimate in the league so far. Teams do not want to let him go through.
Definitely, and he has one of the strongest gadgets for those anti-roaming. As far as operators go, he and Jackal are about on the same tier for about as common they are for anti-roam, but Jackal is just a lot stronger in competitive play.
Dokey will end up getting banned out by NCSU, a very strong operator as well for controlling the flank or roam game. The calls really helping your team be able to see like where the enemy is going to be flanking from, where they're coming from, and just like telegraph what they're planning on doing.
Dokey's also able to bring smoke grenades and flashbangs as well, which gives her a lot of utility on her secondary as well.
See, Clash ban. Clash is something that we've not really seen utilized that much because of how much she's been banned. We've seen RIT bring her to bear once, I believe, and it worked out pretty well. I'm not overly surprised that we're seeing NCSU ban her out, especially since they're having to attack first. UMCP defending first on Oregon will ban the Mira, if I'm not mistaken. That's an interesting choice.
One that's pretty commonly seen on Oregon, if I do say so myself, just because of those basement holds and also their ability to work with inside of kids' bedroom and their sightline on debunk.
I mean, banning the Mirror makes perfect sense to me. Like, I understand why they're doing it, but doing it when your team is defending first is questionable.
It looks like they're going to
make it a lot harder for you to get that momentum going into the side switch.
And it looks like they're going to be relying on that castle and that echo to try to bring some of that site holding back in their favor.
I like the new pick to deny intel, but with the Thatcher being picked up by NCSU, we'll most likely see that to be dealt with pretty easily if the Thatcher's able to utilize his grenades where they need to be thrown.
Your bombs from being defused by
We've seen a lot of teams use the box strategy for mute. I will be interested to see whether or not UMCP utilizes that in this game specifically. We'll see. I believe that's Flame. We'll call him Flame. My screen is a little pixelated right now. Putting the more traditional mute jammer on top of the tail, denying the hatch through that avenue. We'll see also one get put up on Pure Chaos has left the game. That is unfortunate. We'll see if
10 seconds to insertion.
that is not exactly what you want to see. If UMCP is able to call for the rehost before the prep phase is over, they will receive it. If not, they will have to play.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
No lag asked for it.
Attackers are moving out to
Go ahead.
locate a bomb and
They, I believe that was in time. Go ahead and give them that rehost. If the attending admin would like to, yeah. The admin would like to take care of that.
We
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in a moment. Off air. Back, ladies and gentlemen, after a slight rehost. Hopefully we can get back to the match very shortly. Looks like both teams are about ready to go. The Good Luck Have Fun has been brought out. We'll get into, hopefully, no more technical difficulties coming out. As we saw UMCP's, I believe that was Pure Chaos, leave the match, which is unfortunate. That's okay. Stuff happens. And Nrage, are you ready?
I am absolutely ready. I am pumped to see where these teams bring us tonight.
Full of caffeine, ready to go.
Absolutely.
Ready to get up in there. Yeah. Let's go. I mean, I like the blitz pick. This would imply some sort of aggression coming in from Blue Tunnel. If we see UMCP stick this basement, which they appeared to previously, so we'll assume that they'll do it again. The Vigil will probably play upstairs. Vigil players on this map generally like to play around kids' room or playing maybe above the main lobby hatch, trying to pick off those Havana pellets that we see quite commonly. Overall, these teams seem pretty similar. The teams not wanting to stick to their guns.
Sticking to what they know, sticking to the strats
Going
they got.
Twitch and then back onto the Blitz, trying to catch UMCP off guard. I'm into it.
We'll put that mute a bit on edge until that drone phase is over, though.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, like, also, the ghost of Mira cringing in the grave.
Being defused by attackers.
Yeah.
It's also just a matter of, like, will Pure Chaos throw his drones before the prep phase is over and risk them getting killed as well. I've definitely seen it happen in the past. Overall, pretty standard reinforcements coming out for the defenders. They're honestly kind of just playing around like what they would do if there was a Mira, which I think is a little interesting.
Yeah, once you lose that Mira, that holding on to that electrical closet just becomes a lot less useful, and also holding on to laundry closet.
It looks like we'll see Vigil want to play maybe in the attic here, reinforcing one of the walls. This is kind of flawed though, because by reinforcing both of those walls, he kind of makes it so that he cannot rotate back if he so desires. Which is, it's double-edged sword, you know, it protects him from that aggression coming from that side of the map, but it also means that he cannot flank from the upstairs if he ends up needing to. See how well that pays out for him. Overall, pretty standard operator picks for the attackers. Go on.
And that's in that Vigil play is entirely dependent on just how much work he can put in on that top floor. If he's that confident in his ability that he doesn't need to rotate out of there, he's confident in his gunfights, he wants to pick those, go for it, you know?
Only the best guns. Wait, is ever really back? Vigil's back on the site? Okay. Or does he want to go to Big Tower? No, I'm confused. He just like ran a lap.
He's counter-stratting the counter-strats.
They won't look for the Vigil if the Vigil's not there.
Exactly. You can't catch a Vigil out if Vigil isn't there. Looks like Miles is going to be trying to go into that big tower. That's an unfortunate time for Vigil as well, as he just picked up a position there.
Vigil, however, will lie in wait. The Sophia might not know that he's here. I don't really see much droning happening thus far. He'll push into this. Just no one will spot up the Vigil, and he'll find his kill. Already Miles off the board, and the Sophia is a big pick here. An operator that is very much useful in pushing the defenders off of the site and getting that free plant in laundry. We'll see a push coming out into the upstairs through into the kitchen, into meeting room for the attackers, as North Carolina tries to push them out of meeting room now. We'll see that Mute just kind of hanging out, living his life, lying in wait.
Flaming here, getting some shots onto the Blitz. Does throw his
Blitz
nitro
over
cell,
will do his job, pushing aggressively into the Mute, unable to deal with that, missing his nitro cell. Already one kill on the board, and there goes Flamin'.
Q-Palms is there for his backup. Doesn't know that the Blitz is pushing him. Now he does. Gonna be trying to back up onto those stairs. Doesn't have an impact out. Is gonna be taking out with that too. Very nice pick
The
there.
Vigil will catch them all, finding the Blitz.
Does go down to H2O Melon.
No more Pansalid for you.
Looks like that was a bit of a blunder.
A little bit of a blunder, as unfortunately Thatcher is not a hatch.
Thatcher is not a hatch, and he's very much against technology, just gobbling those X-Karos pellets up. Not gonna let those go on the hatch today.
You rely too much on technology, just like denies the dunk. None for you. However, we'll see North Carolina run out of time now. 3-3. Pretty even, but they have 20 seconds to take this site now. One will fall no leg, completely out of position, just kind of sitting inside the room. Echo will look to pop up, but he'll also fall to H2O Melon. Last man is the castle, and he'll get picked up. Just using those last 20 seconds to just completely collapse onto the site and get so much ground. That lack of Mira really hurting UMCP, as we're seeing now. But well played by North Carolina. A little bit dangerous to leave it only with 20 seconds, but still nonetheless a strong push.
It'll be interesting to see how they try to recover from that loss. Overall, they had an interesting team comp. They had nothing really unstandard, and their holds were still pretty solid, but a little mirror-oriented. So hopefully they'll be able to shift that a little bit to try to play a bit more towards what they've got in store.
Which is interesting, because we saw UMCP ban the mirror, while they have to defend first, and then they're playing as though they expect to have a mirror. So I just don't really see the continuity in that. But maybe they'll look to counter strat as the map progresses. We will see them going back to laundry room, supply room. Probably the look. I would say that in today's meta, actually, the kids room is a better site, but laundry room is probably the more comfortable site for these teams, as we do see it played quite a bit compared to kids room.
And with the addition of Maverick, just holding onto those basement sites has become so much more challenging due to the fact that you can't use Mute or Bandit to try to block those entries anymore.
I like the choice here to play the castle, using this to hold the... I'm guessing this is going to be used to hold the meeting hall again. It's really good for just slowing down the attack, especially just how much we can see that North Carolina wants to run this blitz and use the blitz to take control of the meeting room, for example.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, just help stop the blitzkrieg.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
However, on the other
Aggression will
hand,
come out from the vigil, just running out, expecting someone to spawn parking, but no one will be there.
Defender
I
is exposed.
like the attempt, but I feel like they now kind of have his number.
they do, and they know that he is willing to do those runouts, so they'll definitely be wary of them in the future.
Just at this point, well, nobody spawned construction.
Very. Overall, that was a really risky play on his part as well. If he dropped that
Very
early in the
risky.
round, they would have lost all of their roam pressure.
I like I really like aggression in these more competitive games, wherein, you know, like just doing things that are a little unorthodox can really catch people off guard, and it works wonderfully. But maybe when you're already down a round, playing that aggressively may not be the best course of action.
Yeah, it's more of a 4-2 strat where you know that you've got a round or two to throw.
But still, nonetheless, try to catch someone off guard. It would have been beautiful if it worked out, and of course, heartbreaking if it did not work out. If someone was there and he ended up losing the gunfight or just got shot all the way from the junk spawn. We'll see. Thermite wanted to open up the top now, pushing into the attic. Last time they went in through more of a west taking control of kitchen. Now they'll instead opt for the upstairs, making the Mute have to be very, very much more careful.
Flamin gonna be in a bad position soon enough with A-Labs on that hatch. That Blitz is not someone you want to face, however, at range, Mute just might have the advantage here, being able to have enough time to throw his Nitro Cell.
He does still
Does
have
hear
it.
him up there.
He's got to be able to hear the Blitz. He could go for a vertical Nitro here if he does be able to find out where the Blitz is currently. However, the Blitz will not want to give this to him. Instead, move back towards the ladder. Ooh, getting flanked by the Vigil. Not ready for the man playing behind. Second kill for UMCP, just completely shutting down the attack. This vertical take, not doing anywhere near as well as the west take. Bono will try to spot out the Mute. Ooh, he'll find the foot. There he goes now. Vigil last man standing upstairs. Still buying plenty of time. North Carolina, again, does not have that much time left on the board to actually collapse onto the side. Vigil will now look for the flank into the main lobby and run directly past the Thatcher. I have absolutely no idea what Darkhood was watching, but he will find the Vigil in the end. Now 3-3 in favor of the defenders, as they have plenty of time. As they have plenty of time to just waste here, as with 25 seconds left on the clock now and counting. North Carolina has their work cut out for them. We'll see No Lag play pistol smoke
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
in the top of Red Tower. An interesting choice. Very much out of position here. You have to be able to use your smoke canister, but he'll find one kill. Just not ready for the man playing above in the attic at this point in the round. Now looking for the drop. 5 seconds left on the clock now. 6 seconds. 4 seconds now. I'm tripping over my words because so much is happening at once. But I'll look for the gadget kill, but he will not be able to cure that. And the defenders will win off time alone.
Run out of time.
North Carolina just completely falling apart there towards the end, just not utilizing the time very effectively. And this time, unfortunately for them, just not really working in their favor.
A lot stronger of a roam presence that round from the defenders there. Definitely a bit more appreciated too. It feels like they put a lot more weight on trying to get those early picks off, trying to just take that attack and throw it for a loop before they could really get going. And it seems like that's exactly what they did.
UMCP very much adapted to how North Carolina attacked that in the first round. They did very well to do so. Hopefully we'll see the same happen for North Carolina. Seeing that, you know, our vertical attack kind of got red here, we should probably mix things up, maybe just go back to the kitchen take, as it worked significantly better.
Completely flipping the script on their operator picks for second floor. That's going to be an interesting choice there.
I like the pulse
choosing-
pick here. This would imply a kitchen hold, or at least like the pulse playing below, maybe with someone backing him up for extra security.
And those Jaeger will be nice, putting those ADSs on those windows, preventing any glass players, preventing any smokes.
Bombs as they can.
help countering the more prevalent smoke plant strategies that we've seen happen more recently. I am predicting Snecky Noodle to play on White Stairs. By the way, best name of the game so far. I am a fan. The Sneckiest Noodle.
Actually, I'm a bit of a fan.
Again, though, it's worth saying that like UMCP is very much doing strats that we would generally see for Amira, but still, nonetheless, reinforcing this kitchen will help the defenders want to hang out here more. It definitely seems that they have a strat prepared for Oregon, as they seem very certain in what they're doing.
They really don't have a lot of hesitation time, and that's something that I really appreciate from these teams. They're coming in here, they've got at least something set up in mind, so they know where to start at the start of the round, so that they're not wasting that precious setup time.
Knowing exactly what they want to do before someone has to tell them to do it. It's nice to see preparedness from the teams. We'll see a rotate hole moving back towards meeting home. The defenders are very prepared to hold this first floor with, I believe that is two members. Wait, is Pulse in the basement? Where's Pulse? Pulse in
I
the
believe
basement.
so.
Why is Pulse in the basement?
He's waiting for those sneaky attackers to come through construction.
Waiting for the... See, like, what I want to happen is he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna scare him, and Blitz just, like, sprints into his face. He's like, oh!
I'd be rather surprised if the attackers even pay attention to basement, honestly. I think they might do a drone or two through it and then just be done.
They have to at least catch it, because if you get caught out by any flank from basement, you are very much in trouble. And of course, they'll be able to expect the defenders holding first floor, as they've devoted a lot of resources to this. They would at least theoretically be able to counter this. They'll spot out Blitz entering on the window is a little questionable, as he's very out of position here, not really able to jump back out if they cover their angles. We'll see that Thermite find one. There goes the bandit off the board. I believe that was one of the people that were actually holding the first floor as well. Fish will find yet another one. There goes the dock upstairs. Ooh, Melon will find... Can't quite see whose name that was, but he will find the Jaeger as well. There goes the first floor hold. We'll see Pulse playing below. No lag. I'm mistaking that. That is... Goodbye, no lag. We'll see Pulse still playing below, but Legion is now the last man standing on the site and has to fight against all 5 members of North Carolina if they decide to push the upstairs. He will down one. There he goes. He will get the kill onto. I believe that was a Thermite. Thermite will fall.
Overall, Pulse getting some nice shots down in through kitchen there. Looks like they do know he's up inside of kids. They will be shooting through the floor of kitchen, trying to take him out. Blitz will be picking up the diffuser here, rushing onto site, trying to get that plant down. However, does have to be careful of any goo mines due to his low health.
North Carolina doing well here to recognize that the Pulse is no longer on the site. We can just focus on pushing out this Legion. Make him fight the 1v4 now, as the Pulse is just not really in a position to stop him. However, he will look to move back around and support his teammate. Not playing too passively, now looking for the flank towards White Stairs. He will find one, but what's the potato? He might not secure it just yet. Pulse taking very much... Okay, pull out your pistol, not your heartbeat scanner. There you go. That's unfortunate, as Melon will punish that mistake. And there goes the Pulse now off the board. At least we'll find one, however, before his time. There goes the Zofia. Look how low North Carolina State is right now.
Not seeing
He'll find
Blitz.
2 downs, but the Blitz will get the bot from behind.
Almost pulling back that round. All he had to do was one bullet.
If there was a goo mine in the doorway of Kid's room, he would have clutched that round.
An unfortunate turn of events for him there, just not noticing that smoke grenade going off to his left.
Going into round 4, let's see if North Carolina is able to maintain this slight lead they've got, or if UMCP is able to answer with their own defensive run once again on Kids' dorms. I don't know how I feel about playing the Pulse that far away. I feel like it kind of wasted that free information that they would have normally got, and it would have then allowed UMCP to get that flanking damage.
It did allow for a bit of a more unexpected flank game. However, with the misplay by the Pulse near the end of the round there, it did kind of set any advantages they would have gotten from that back.
I think that it would have been a safer choice to play maybe no lag on the Jaeger off of the site. excuse me, or like a no lag on the Jaeger, like in the basement. If you really want to play someone in basement,
Defenders protect
you know,
your bomb
play no lag or
used by
play.
attackers.
Someone who
the
doesn't have to
bandit.
play an active role.
Exactly,
in
because like
the-
having your pulse just in kitchen lets him be able to sit in safety and just be able to scan and get so much free information. It's excellent. Like I guess they just kind of expected them to push in instead for main lobby, but very few teams push for main lobby on this map.
It's really one of those spots that you don't see all that often, just because of how many angles you can get shot from when entering.
We'll see how well the teams are able to adapt to this. Now we'll see. Yeah, pretty similar hold though for UMCP than compared to what we saw in the last round. We'll see. Not completely reinforcing the closet is a little bit questionable. We'll see whether or not North Carolina reacts to this and counters it.
Looks like they will have a drone going out trying to just see what they can find in those in that entryway, making sure that there aren't any nasty surprises on the other side.
Absolutely, very much dedicating so many resources to holding this first floor as opposed to holding the upstairs. Which, again, like where first of all, where's the pulse? You see where the pulse is, Mr. Spectator Man? All right, he will play closer to site, but instead of being below, he will play in attic. I just don't think that this is, again, this is where the pulse is best utilized. Like he really can't scan anywhere near as well as he could if he was below. And you lack that plant denial that pulse usually is able to utilize. If honestly, like if North Carolina is able to read this, they can literally just push onto the site and plant right now if they want to, just because of how many people for UMCP are just not there to stop it.
Sending no lag on that vigil out to Big Tower is an interesting allocation of their time as well. Making sure that they have someone covering that rooftop is nice. However, sending that to someone who doesn't really have the best equipment for dealing with that is a bit more of the questionable part of that decision. It looks like they're playing very safe on attack, just making sure they aren't stepping into any long angles that they can get spawn peeked from, not watching, or not even like getting into sightline of Big Tower.
We'll see. We'll see. That was Alex on the blitz, wanted to push in now from the west, adapting the strategy just a little bit to try to counter the way that UMCP wants to hold this first floor. What's one I look to push in? He will get the position. I believe that was the Jaeger telegraph now, as pure chaos will fall to the Havana in the bathroom. Now looking to run away back towards his friendly neighborhood pulse. Blitz doing very well to do his job and push out the defenders. Recognizing where they have gone off to it no lag, he is now lying in wait, trying to catch the Blitz off guard.
Does seem to know that there are a few defenders up on that attic, just going to be waiting, trying to get some angles. Instead, Watermelon just taking him out. Followed up by
The Thatcher will
Dark
find one as well. Just they have so many people playing in this attic, and they're just getting picked apart from different angles. You'll see the Vigil find one, and it is kill onto the Thermite, but the Thermite's pretty much done his job, and without the closet getting fully reinforced there, they don't need him anymore.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Not include the fact that there is an H2ML on the Havana. He will miss his shots initially onto the Legion, playing inside Kidman, but that will not quite work out, as Legion will find one frag in the Blitz, just not quite prepared to fight that man in Kid's room. Now, we'll look for the flank up through the smoke. I don't think that North Carolina is ready for this. Not expecting the men pushing up from white stairs. He'll look to get the flank off. There goes a one kill. He will drop the second. Zofia will find the frag as the plant goes down. 1-2 in favor of North Carolina. Still trying to hold their different angles. Oh man, jumping out from the double window will fall. Now it is a 1v1, but Zofia can withstand.
Looks like he will understand that, not going to be going for the pick on it. Might actually jump out at the wrong time and get shot here.
Get up. Ooh, not quite able to get the kill, but the Thatcher's able to hold the angle from long.
Looks like Legion there will be at exactly one health.
But will miss them in return, and Dark Hood will clutch the round for his team, finding Snucky Noodle.
Some very misplaced shots, I would say, from NCSU. Overall, that Hibana was actually watching white stairs as the Vigil came up, just not able to quite land those. Zofia as well, not quite able to take her firefight.
They did well to react, though, to be able to say, like, yeah, you know, the Vigil is on white stairs, and the Zofia was able to quickly get the refrag.
Right.
Not getting surprised as well.
having Dark Hood there to support from a different angle worked out quite well for them in the end as well. However, it just played out a little bit too close for comfort in my experience.
Darkhood just doing well to have patience and not get overly zealous. You know, pushing for the kills instead, just holding his angle, protecting the diffuser, and not letting it get caught out. We'll see. They'll show the Maestro. I honestly think that Maestro might be what UMCP needs to hold this basement, as they seem to need the information.
That the defensive abilities that he brings on those Evil Eye cams is just something that's very, very nice to have. Being able to deny Hibana pellets, thermite, exothermic charges, shoot out drones, stuff like that. It's the little things that he brings to the table that make a big difference.
Absolutely. Let's see if UMCP is able to react further. I mean, like I like the pulse pick. You know, it is a good reaction to, I think, what we've seen North Carolina do for the attack, able to get them information. But I want to see if Flamin ends up playing it below, or if he ends up getting more aggressive with it. Because pulse, like if you just play the pulse in the basement, he's just able to sit there and get free information the entire round, and it's so strong.
Not to mention, there are opportunities for that pulse to even get some frags too, if he's willing to shoot through the floor, use that nitro cell, whatever it is he wants to do with it. It's just a very strong position to put your pulse in, if you have one.
Let's see what we.
Looks like MRAP's going to be droning out for his team here, just trying to make sure that there's no defenders on the prowl looking for some attackers to get. Overall, it looks like a lot of intel gathering happening right now, sending ALATs in, just trying to get him into sight safely so that he can put that pressure on those defenders. Does take some shots here, does realize there is someone up in attic, going to be trying to figure them out. That will be the Jaeger.
See now, 1 minute already burned off the clock, but it does appear that North Carolina is able to clear out that top floor. Now wanting to collapse onto the meeting hall.
Meeting hall is one of those areas that you really want to have control of on this map, just due to its central location, and also just the amount of areas you can get to and from it. You can get up into attic, you can get down onto site directly, you can go right into main entryway, you can go into kitchen. It's such a crucial, like, I'd almost call it the heart of Oregon.
Absolutely, I very much agree with that, and we'll now see the thermite. This is what North Carolina did in their first attacking round. That just worked so very well, pushing out from the kitchen and from the lobby, completely displacing what the defenders want to do. They'll spot out one playing behind. Let's look it down. I believe that was through his shield, or like I'm guessing shot in the feet or the hand. But the Hibana will get the refrag and finding 2 kills for himself, clearing out the pulse and the Jaeger, giving his team plenty of breathing room. As they'll now see the Blitz gotten back up now, wanting to push in from the big tower. We'll see. Ooh, Smoke playing a little bit aggressively, wanting to catch off somebody not quite expecting the Smoke to be below the hatch with the shotgun, but the drone will spot him out and he'll look to move back from that, not wanting to overstay his welcome. Very much the correct play in that situation. And now we'll see H2O Melon look for some vengeance as the Smoke will find a drone. First canister number 1, 30 seconds now on the clock. Again, North Carolina just has used so much time to get vertical control. They have to now push onto the site and be able to make this early advantage that they got work out. 20 seconds down the clock. North Carolina's got to push. The Blitz will go down into the smoke canisters. He'll look to push in, but the Echo Drone will daze him.
Looks like he is going to get cut out.
He will get picked up through the smoke. H2O will find yet another kill for himself. Now on the board, we'll see the Smoke try to find a shotgun kill in return. Thermite will find 1 versus 3 now. With how the time is running out, Plant will go down. Echo can stop it though. His drone is a position and will clutch it for his team. Well played by the Echo.
Overall, just a very last-minute way to pick up that diffuser, really securing that round for his team, able to down a person, then get on his drone and stop the plane all before Hibana was able to get there. A very, very quick play, and something that I feel really deserves a bit of congratulation from his team.
Very, very, very well executed.
Switching sides here, we will see NCSU on defense now, UMCP on attack. going to be seeing what different strategies each of these teams can bring to their opponents' respective sides of the board.
Now, H2O Melon specifically has been playing very well for his team, getting a lot of important frags where they need to come. We'll see if he's able to maintain that strong presence on the map. Conversely, I'm not quite. I think that I want to say it was Pure Chaos that was playing the Echo, but I'm not 100% sure. He played that very well. We'll see if he's able to do just as well on Twitch. Both operators have their drones, so we'll see if any of that carries over.
And Twitch is another one of those operators that relies very heavily on her gadget for her utility. Having a good loadout is important, but also knowing how to use those Twitch drones is just as crucial a difference.
The difference between a good Twitch player and a great Twitch player is massive.
And just
as and the same can be said for Echo, definitely.
The skill differential between those two is also just really apparent in the playstyle. You know, there's a time, if you only are using your Twitch drone to just, you know, whittle people down in their health bar, it's okay, but there's a balance.
It's not what the drone is meant for.
Right. Being able to take out the gadgets of the team and balance that with, say, oh, someone's in a firefight, shock them with your Twitch drone to distract them so that your team gets an easy kill. That's something that a lot of skilled Twitch players do. That's really, really great to see.
Or just knowing when to push to be able to counter those mirror windows, or, you know, getting rid of those very important mute jammers. We'll see the Maestro pick coming out instead of the Echo. Something that I guess just like the difference between North Carolina and Maryland. We'll see. So I also like that bulletproof camera getting used in the laundry room, trying to watch the stairs for the potential smoke push. With the Ying, that would not surprise me if they go for a more aggressive style of just trying to smoke with... wait. They don't have smoke grenades. My lord.
I don't believe they do. They do have Sophia's concussion.
They do.
However, not quite as effective as
a little questionable, actually, not bringing any operators with smoke for this attack, as having smoke is so strong for this site specifically.
Being able to drop in while the enemies are blind, then having them become back to their senses and not being able to see anything because of the smoke is a very powerful play to make. So willingly dropping that, just like Miles dropping Hibana, is something that you don't really want.
Completely off guard. Well played. We'll see No Lag get a refrag now. There goes the mute off the board. You get last man standing upstairs. It does appear, and he will follow the No Lag from far away. There goes a lot of the roam game from, excuse me, from North Carolina. We'll see now. UMCP wanted to push down and bear onto the site. Sophia will look for the picks across the way. She'll not quite find that just yet, leaving the barbed wire very much alive. 3 to 4.
I would say that 2-for-1 trade was more in the defender favor. Just being able to take out Hibana, they have no way of breaching into those hatches, meaning they are going to get funneled down into the death hallway created by Maestro and Legion.
It's also worth pointing out, was the Hibana able to open the hatch before she died?
Nothing was opened, no.
Oh no, that is not. But the hatch is solid, right? Okay, the hatch is solid. You're able to defend from the top of stairs. Why are you planting in the one place where they can kill you without a mirror? Instead of planting on top of the laundry machine where you're completely safe.
Right, and also sending...
The diffusion's not even there. Pure Chaos has it. What is happening right now? They had such excellent pressure here, and they just completely lost it by playing operators where they don't belong. Pure Chaos will fall, and the diffuser is there with him. Flavor will have to plant now in the middle of smoke cannons, but he just can't. He's not safe anymore. He'll find the free fire through the smoke. He'll find one. 10 seconds left on the clock now. 9 seconds. It's counting. Smoke is last man standing. He'll look for the clutch, but the smoke is ready. Darkhood will clutch out the round for his team once more.
Just a really, really confusing turn of events, I'd say.
I would. It just felt like UMCP was complete. I'm sorry, not UMCP. Wait.
Yes,
UMCP. Yeah, UMCP. Okay, I got very confused for a minute. Yeah, it seems like UMCP is completely disconnected. Like they got the early picks. They had great site pressure. Obviously, you lost the Hibana, so you don't have the hatch open. But it just seemed like they didn't know what they wanted to do.
It was like after they got into meeting hall and got what they wanted from it, they didn't really. It was almost like they weren't expecting to get that far, so they just kind of fell apart.
What do you want to do now? I don't know. I thought we'd die.
It's not a spot your team wants to be in
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Like just not really
Like,
having the communication to come back from that and just have someone rally you together.
Absolutely. Like they lost like three. I want to say two members. Excuse me, not three. Two members.
Attackers
To
need
literally just trying to
locate
walk
and
behind
defuse
that
the bomb.
basket of laundry and dying for no reason. All the diffuser pushed from Big Tower. If they utilized all four members of their team that were still alive to push instead from meeting, that round would have been very different.
Absolutely. Having 4 people against 3 is
Attackers
good
have located
already.
the bomb.
Having 4 people in a coordinated attack against 3 that are all watching different angles is almost certain victory.
This is instead of just giving the Maestro the fight that he wants
Exactly.
twice.
Giving a Maestro with an ACOG on an LMG
10 seconds left.
a long-range fight against multiple
on the
targets.
best defending weapon in the game.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's just his dream come true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Attackers recovered
See
the
now,
diffuser. Attackers
as
are
North
moving
Carolina
to defuse
goes
the bomb.
on to their 4th point, it's able to maintain this lead that they've gotten. Now defending the upstairs instead of the basement. We'll see if this difference in play style will make any difference in favor of UMCP. Because we don't really see, I'm not really seeing that much roam game coming out from North Carolina compared to how we saw UMCP play it. Overall, very much a more closed-in defense. I'd like to see like an aerial view of the kitchen just to see like what they have set up.
I wouldn't consider that much of it to be set up, really. They only
like,
have
overall, I would say it's quite similar to how we saw UMCP hold it. Ooh, Ash will just hot breach in and find one. There goes Dark Hood in the smoke. Kids Room's now completely under the control of UMCP. Just no one is holding the site. Everyone's playing away. What is happening right now? North Carolina, please.
Looks like Flamin does get downed, but Ash not willing to let that stop him. Picking up 2, picking up 3.
3 kills.
Very impressive. Looks like both of the remaining defenders are just going to be pushing up the stairs at once. That is Jaeger and Vigil, both strong contenders, but Buck going to be taking down 1. Miles
Ash's
finding
rampage
the
will
Ash
get
in a
ended, though.
refrag, but
Attackers
overall,
activated
the
defuse.
play does go down in kids, and Buck is just able to take out Miles.
That was just completely. This was excellently played, by the way, by UMCP, just completely recognizing that North Carolina had nobody defending the upstairs, and just walking all over them. Very well done indeed. We'll see.
Yeah, there was nothing to stop the Ash from just tidal waving through that site. Just, you know, it was.
Mhm.
It was just really unfortunate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in a moment after this short rehost. Please stand by. And we're back. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I'm sure I'll see your responses in chat in like 2 minutes, but nonetheless. Nrage, how are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm just ready to get going.
Hitting them with the hype.
Hitting them with the hype. Hitting them with the go. Let's get it.
UMCP will play a Blitz for probably the first time in the series. Eternal Nut will get subbed in place of our previously clutching Ash.
That is a bit of a interesting choice, and it might. It's one thing to switch out a player who's like maybe not on their best game, but switching out someone who's topping the board is definitely a questionable decision.
He abs like his push there while they were not prepared absolutely won the round for his team. Just hands out, just completely walking all over what North Carolina had prepared.
For sure, turning a 5v5 into a 5v2 is no laughing matter. Absolutely.
We'll see now. North Carolina go back to basement. Let's see what they're able. Yeah, basement should be locked. Wait, I'm confused. No, yeah, they are right.
10 seconds to insertion.
We'll be right back.
5 seconds remaining.
Isaiah. All right, and we're back. I think we fixed it this time. Should be good to go. Going into our 8th round for the series, 4-3. Yeah, there we go. Blue's picking up stairs. I believe we fixed it now. We did it, team. We did it.
Thank you all for bearing with us through that, having some technical difficulties, just working it out, getting everything running.
Things happen.
Absolutely. But it's back. We're bringing it back. 6th pick.
We're bringing it back.
If anybody wants to switch. Ooh, switching off the Maestro back to Doc. Gonna give them that ACOG advantage. Switching
Spicy.
Blitz onto Blitz. One of the smartest 6 picks I've seen here today. No one expects you to 6th pick onto the same op twice.
Hitting them with that element of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, though. I find it a little questionable to go off of the Maestro onto the Doc. I don't really see a point in doing that, but okay.
The main reason I would say it's seen on Oregon at all is just for the option to spawn peek with the ACOG.
No, but like you can spawn peek with Maestro's ACOG, and then your gadget is actually useful.
However, on the other hand, if Maestro does die, then he doesn't get to use his gadget anymore. Neither does Doc, but
Doc
it's
died.
not as huge of a loss.
But like once, yeah, but okay. See, here's the difference though: is that if you have a Maestro and he dies, his gadgets are still there. They're still cameras. If you have a Doc that spawn peeks and dies,
10 seconds remaining.
the Doc is dead.
That's when you pull out the needle and use it as a
5 seconds
camera.
remaining.
Obviously.
You have to use your smart strats when you're playing in a pro league.
Recover the diffuser.
My mistake.
Attackers
Thank you,
must
Nrage,
locate
for that
and defuse a bomb.
clarification.
Not a problem. Just making sure we're all on the same page here.
Thanks for the carry.
Looks like a very slow, methodical attack here coming out. We're gonna be seeing them all kind of work their way up onto small tower.
It does appear that North Carolina is a little bit more prepared for the Ash Rush strat that we saw previously, actually playing more than one person on the site. A nice change. I like that bulletproof camera placement as well.
Yeah, getting that one nice in a position where it can get those good sight lines is definitely appreciated, and it's gonna work a lot in their favor, assuming that they utilize it well. Sending Blitz in with the sledge is a pretty good idea here, I'd say. Just having the shield there with the frags for cover. Always an appreciated strategy. Looks like Hibana did hear Watermelon there roaming through Big Tower.
See how well the defenders are able to hold this off. The Blitz is now inside the room. He will get cornered off by the smoke canisters. There goes one frag from no lag. Another one, as we'll see, no lag, swinging into Kid's room once more, catching the Legion completely off guard. Blitz will fall, but now they have the site pressure. UMCP doing very well to attack this site. We'll see a flank from Miles come out. We'll see whether or not they're able to react this in time. They'll find one frag. There goes the Ash now. They turn Let now off the board. We look to run back across. What is happening? He'll find a frag with the pistol. A frag from the for the Bandit. A completely effective retake now. 1 versus 1 between Sneaky Noodle and Miles. Will Miles get his 3K, or will Sneaky Noodle be able to play this out? Miles does have control of the diffuser. We'll have to see if he does know where the Hibana is. We'll see Repel up and over now, looking for, I'm guessing, a push in from the double window. I don't quite know why Miles is playing here, but I guess we'll see. Maybe he's just expecting the Jaeger to be back on the small tower.
I'd be interested to see if he actually heard that Repel or not. It's a very distinct and loud sound, but if he didn't, then he might be watching the entirely wrong angle. It looks like he did hear her outside on that terrace. Maybe
Hibana does have flashbangs here, and he will use the drone to try to find out where Miles exactly is. He'll spot him out now. See, he might just go for the wallbang through the mattress, as that is a soft object.
However, it looks like Miles did get the clue to kind of run back, get out of the fire line. However, not really taking his opportunity to push while Hibana was reloading. Not going to be something that he can do now anyways.
Well, the Hibana is now running out of time. 15 seconds left on the clock now and counting. Flashbang number 1 will come out, but Miles has moved back to a much safer position. He'll look to jump in. He'll now just kind of wait and make the Hibana go for the plant, not get too greedy. He'll look for the pre-fire, though. Why are you peeking that, Miles? And Hibana will be able to get the clutch. Sneaky Noodle will pull it out for his team and win the round. UMCP slowly but surely coming back.
I believe there were only about 10 seconds left on the clock there as well.
I believe 8 when the Jaeger died.
Even less. That's an unfortunate
4-4.
choice of
Completely
events.
on its head. North Carolina has dropped a 4-2 lead to now a 4-4 after the round switch. UMCP appears to have a much better grasp on attacking, and it's been showing so far in the series.
Overall, just not really making any of those simple mistakes that they made on their defense side, as well as being able to get those quick and unexpected frags from those multiple angles, giving them that advantage, being able to take sight and then just wait for the roamers to come back and picking up those frags as they come to them.
See, again, like I don't like MRAP playing the dock. I really don't. I feel like Maestro is better. He'll six pick onto the Maestro. See, he's there. They're stream sniping, obviously.
He clearly took our advice from last round, and he's seeing now that Maestro is the superior especially in basement. Doc really isn't going to do a lot of good. There's not really a lot of good angles that he can call that Maestro can't.
I really don't see a reason to play Doc in any situation where you can play an Echo or a Maestro.
Especially when you're trying to deny planting as much as possible with the ability that you have.
Especially on top of that, when your team does not have access to a Mira. Like, you need that to be able to try to stop those plants, specifically for basement. Less so on the upstairs. Like obviously they're still really strong on the upstairs. We've seen the Echo prove his worth earlier on on this map. Actually, when we saw, I believe that was pure chaos clutch with the Echo drone itself. We'll see now as as UMCP looks to attack once more into the basement. This did not go that well previously for them, as they just kind of got picked out over time, breaking up a little bit too much, not really pushing together, getting punished for it by North Carolina. See whether or not they can use the lessons of the previous rounds to be able to react to this and move forward more effectively.
And this is pretty much a direct test just to, not even intentionally, just to see how much they've learned from playing against the opponents on this map. Just seeing the differences that they can make to make this work.
We'll see what we generally saw previously, where North Carolina will look to defend the meeting hall and kitchen with the Bandit Jaeger combo. UMCP will not bring any sort of shield to help them push. They'll instead look to fight the aim battles. They have a glass, which is good. They're looking to have some smoke grenades now to help make this push, for example, onto Laundry work a little bit better. But of course, very much hinges on whether or not they can keep their Hibana alive long enough to be able to open that main lobby hatch.
That Hibana really does have to depend on Buck there to try to just clear out meeting hall and get her the option to even get in there and open up those hatches.
Ooh,
that's going to be tough. Watermelon taking some shots at Glaz does actually manage to down no leg there.
I don't think he knows that he's down though. Nice frag from the Jaeger, finding one. H2 Melon will be able to finish off no leg. He does recognize that he is in fact down. The Hibana lives, but with Glaz off the board, there goes that smoke advantage that we talked about previously.
And with Hibana being the one to fight now, she does put herself in a direct way of not being able to open those hatches for a team. Looks like Flamin just not spotting out Bandit.
As the peak happens, Flamin will not be able to frag that up, but the Ash will find in the end. Pick up H2O Melon. Jaeger let last man sending out the Ash, making the plays! Even with the original player gone, Eternal Nut will come in with the exact same effectiveness. It's one now in favor of North Carolina, as we see Eternal Nut have to clutch against difficult odds.
And this Ash has just been a really huge problem here for the defense. I mean, it doesn't seem like a round has gone by where Ash can't just run through the objective and get at least a kill, maybe two.
Ash will start off as the sneakiest snack, pushing down the big tower stairs. Drone will come out. They give them some information as to where the enemy is playing. One will be able to spot out the smoke and the Maestro, but I don't think that the Legions really spotted out all that much yet. The Maestro will look away just in time, but they'll find the frag. But the smoke is ready for the refrag. Dark Hood playing very well for his team so far in the series, clutching out a lot of rounds, making sure that that could have been really tragic if the Ash was looking the other direction. But Eternal Nut just a little bit too low.
Overall, it was just a really aggressive push from the Ash. I feel like executed with a bit more precision, it could have ended a bit better. Like take a quick left into electrical closet. You might have been able to take out the maestro. From there, all you have to really worry about is the smoke, because then the echo doesn't have time to rotate back.
We'll now look at match point for NCSU. UMCP has to essentially play perfectly for 2 rounds if they want to be able to pull this map out of the hat. Right now, in a commanding position, we'll see if NCSU can be able to force this into a 1 site, as Kids Dorms historically has not been a very good site for them.
No, but then again, after winning basement, they don't have a lot of other places to go that they'd rather be.
Off of the dock onto the castle. I like the castle pick for this. Trying to slow down the more aggressive playstyle that we've seen generally from UMCP. I'm guessing that'll be used maybe for kids' windows, perhaps looking to defend from bedrooms so they can focus more people on holding white stairs, for example. So you already won on the double window. I feel like this is kind of a waste, as no lag sledge, for example. Just the Ash can very easily get rid of that without any real repercussion. I like using it for the kids' room windows. Yes, it's somewhat easy for no lag for them to counter it, but it means that the players that want to hang out in the kids' room are a lot safer.
And I mean, picking the castle when you've seen during the reveal phase that the enemy team has all 3 Ash, Zofia, and Sledge, just not really. It doesn't seem like this. Yeah, for sure. It's almost like taking his gadget and throwing out the window. If Sledge manages to get just past spawn, he gets all 3 of those for free, and that's really unfortunate.
Sledge not really seen as much play anymore, but definitely the strongest counter in the game to Castle. And of course, like we're talking about, Castle put all 3 of his barricades in places where the attackers can very easily get rid of them with the hammer.
Right.
See Miles
being on
below
the windows gives them cover as well, because you can just hit it and then drop prone, and now they can't hit you back.
We'll see the Miles Melon combo play below once more. See whether or not their hold downstairs can be able to work a little bit better than it did last time. And if they can stop, ooh, the peek from the pixel spot will find the blitz already. An unfortunate turn of events for UMCP. That is not the way you want to start out the round when you're already on match point.
And losing the pressure from your shield, especially going into one of the hardest areas on this map to enter, that's tough. Like, even Montang has a hard time entering that, so sending in Blitz on his own is almost a death sentence. And that's just a really unfortunate loss of momentum there.
See, ooh, nice push from No Lag, fighting Melon completely off guard. There goes one man playing down on the first floor. Last man will be Miles, sitting between his team. Between his team and just the aggression from No Lag on the first floor. As we talked about the sledgehammer being so effective for clearing out these kids' room windows, and we'll see No Lag now look to move around and not go for that push through meeting hall, but instead get rid of these castle barricades, as his operator is very well suited to do. With 2 members of North Carolina playing in this kid's room, it might work very, very well for his team. Be ready for that combo play. Pure Chaos look for frag number 1, but just not ready for the man playing in the corner. He'll get fragged up by the smoke. I believe that was the smoke playing all the way across. Maybe the castle, actually. I'm not quite 100% sure. I think there was a castle actually playing in the corner. Smoke was playing across. We'll see.
A few shots from Zofia does manage to pick Castle off, not taking a lot of health, but does spook him out of his hiding spot.
UMCP, however, is running out of time. They have 30 seconds now 35 seconds now on the clock and counting. Claymore will come out on the dining room doorway, trying to predict a run out from that area of the map. We'll find Smoke playing behind the bomb. Ooh, narrowly missing. Smoke will, I believe, almost go down. He will get fragged up by Eternal Let, shot through the bomb. 3-3 now. Very much tied out. But with 20 seconds left on the clock, they've got to make a push here. They're running out of time. Sophia wanted to make the push from the main window. See it swinging now. Ash will find 1. There goes Miles. Frag number 2 will come out. Miles over with a frag, having to run across and he'll get fragged up by the Claymore. UMCP's attack, reading what we saw Miles do previously. You just can't expect the same thing you already did once to work again, Miles. You got to play from, for example, white stairs. I honestly feel as though that Miles has done very well to retake the site when he needs to. But he either retakes too late in the round, or does so from an angle that he's not able to be effective enough.
And being able to just adapt
what
your play
Putin did,
style.
honestly, in the Colorado game
Right,
on Monday.
the having the adaptability to change your play style on the fly based on how the round is going it's a huge factor, and it's what makes roamers so dependable once they get to the level where your team can just rely on you to take out the attackers. Is being able to just flip the script and just say, all right, this isn't working, let's change it up, figure out something different to do.
But just so everybody knows, this is now called officially pudding. But we'll see if Stroman opt away from the Bandit onto the Vigil this time, wanting to mix things up. It is now 5-5. This last round is for
Defenders, protect your bombs
all the
from being
marbles.
defused by attackers.
As winner of this will seize the map. As the rounds are 1st to 6. We'll see a buck get picked up. I'm not quite sure if I agree with the buck for this side, as there's not really a lot of vertical play you can get out of the buck for attacking the basement.
You're pretty limited to meeting hall and maybe a little bit in taking out that floor above the stairs that are above the basement. You can kind of take that out and get an angle onto basement stairs, but it's still not that useful since most defenders won't be playing that aggressively.
Absolutely. We'll see
5
how the
seconds
round
to insertion.
pans out. As we see, Eternal Nut has been playing very aggressively so far. It's kind of like, I think, hinges on how well he can get this early aggression off and how well he can clear out the meeting hall, for example, before they do too much damage to his team. I would kind of like to see some sort of aggression from Blue Tunnel, maybe, trying to catch the defenders off guard, as we've seen them play very, very much the same consistently, holding this meeting hall, holding the kitchen, and not a lot of variation. Speaking of which, looks like we might see some aggression from Blue Hall.
A bomb has been located.
Eternal Nut going in there with the Zofia, trying to...
Are the meeting hatches closed off, or are they open?
They are closed off, I believe.
Can we look at that real quick, Eagle?
Hibana will be needing to take
They're both,
that.
yeah. Like, in a situation, you, like, pushing in from blue is so strong. Like, absolutely, yeah. They're funneling even more people into this angle, wanting to take control of it. With both hatches reinforced, the ability for people playing in meeting hall to be able to stop this push is very limited. Even if they play somebody, like, trying to watch the rear. This could be so very strong for UMCP. They'll already find one kill. There goes Dark Hood off the board. So we'll see now one playing in Small Closet, the Maestro playing back where he has been previously. Eternal Nut will not go for the push here. Looking for the frag through the shells, but no, Eternal Nut will find his second kill of the round. UMCP is completely walking over. He will not be able to get the frag with the 5-7. The Legion will find him, but no one will quickly get the refrag already ready to go. Miles will get fragged up as well, trying to get the retake on the site from Big Tower. Last man standing for the defenders is Melon. He'll find one frag. He'll be a little bit too out of position, but the plant is going down on the back of the site, and the Vigil will get fragged up by Flamin. That looked like Flamin. Yeah, Flamin Clayman. Ready to go. Catching out the Vigil when he's not quite prepared, and the first map will go to UMCP.
Overall, a
map
really
will-
impressive comeback, I'd say.
Yeah, but it was a
Absolutely.
great comeback. They went from being down 4-2, taking it back to a 5-6 win on the map. Well, we'll be giving our teams a bit of a break, as that map was a little much. We'll be back
and
at you
going-
very quickly with Border.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are bringing you map 2 here of NCSU versus UMCP. Bringing you Border for our second map. A pretty common pick. It's something that we've seen a lot. It's something that we've seen a lot of different strats on. It's something we've seen a lot of different team comps on. And it's a very adjustable map as well. Lots of destructibility, lots of different sites you can play on, lots of different ways you can hold those sites. Overall, the possibilities on this map, there are very many. Looks like first off we're going to see a Lion ban here, back from NCSU. Something that we've saw previously both on Border and in the league. A very common pick here. Getting Lion off the board gives those roamers a lot more room to work. Blitz here being banned as a second pick.
Possibly a bit of a target ban, honestly.
Definitely. It was something that we saw a lot from the attacking side last time on Oregon, so being rid of that shielding, blinding menace might be something that they want to take care of. Clash again coming out, very hard to deal with defender if you don't have a Kappa Tower Zofia on your team. Overall, just one that really doesn't have a lot of strategies to counterplay against by these teams right now, just due to how new she is in the game. Mira, again, being seen as a second defender band, one that's pretty common on Border for sure. Being able to hold Armory, being able to hold into Ventilation from Workshop. Overall, lots of different Mira spots. Those are just two of the most common. I'm going to be seeing our attackers here picking an interesting team comp of Thermite, Ying, and Glaz. Looks like we're going to be bringing some smokes for both Glaz and Ying this time around. A much smarter decision than we saw in Oregon. Overall, Ash and Thatcher, pretty standard. Both operators that we saw being played by their respective players, Pure Chaos and Eternal Nut. Last time, seeing a Doc again, an interesting pick. Not really sure about that. 6th pick onto Pulse, very strong on this map with all of the destructible flooring. Looks like we'll be heading to Armory Lockers and Archives first. One of the most commonly picked sites in all of the game, and definitely the most picked on Border.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Overall, we are going to be probably seeing a pretty standard hold here. There's a bit of a different hold you can run with Mira, but with the fact that Mira is banned of this game, it'll most likely just be the standard ranked hold. Reinforcing Fountain, reinforcing that exterior wall in Armory to try to hold off the attackers from getting through from the outside, and then devoting whatever reinforcements are left to the office, the small office, to prevent any thermites from opening that sightline onto the opposite balcony on the east side of the building.
Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. I think I had some issues with the mic. Alright, we are back now, however.
5 seconds to
Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, overall, pretty standard holds coming out from our defenders. Albeit a very overwhelming spawn from UMCP towards the valley. Possibly, this very much just screams a monitor's take, which is something that we quite often see these teams want to utilize. Verticality is a great way to counter this. We'll see if North Carolina is able to bring this out and use it to their own advantage.
Hopefully with that pulse below in Workshop, he will be able to spot out when those attackers do push out into CCTV and maybe get a nice nitro cell through there. However, it looks like he's going to be just playing it safe for now, not really pushing out anywhere that could possibly get an angle on him. Jaeger, it looks like Miles will be droned out. Maybe doesn't know it as they aren't scanning him. That will be a bit of a problem for him if he comes face to face with that Ying. Also coming up on Pulse pretty close soon here, does manage to take out the Pulse. No lag, surviving with just over 25 health.
Very nearly getting fragged himself. He will be able to find the Pulse there, but it looks like Miles was coming down for the refrag. Oh, no! I'm sorry, that's not no lag, is it? No lag. No lag, not quite ready. There goes the Ying and all of her Candelas. It's kind of like sending the Ying to roam clear is a little bit of a questionable decision.
Especially when her gadget really isn't designed for it. Being able to flash out a sight and get a plant off in a smoke grenade or something is especially what she's meant for, but then you are for roamers.
She's so strong at getting the plant off.
Yeah.
With that little glass with the smoke grenades, like I really don't see why you Sentinel like to do that when you have an Ash on your team, for example.
When you've got an LMG, an entire sniper rifle with a highlighter scope, and also smoke for cover, there's really not a lot that can go wrong. So having the Ying there just makes it so strong. Alat's giving away his position a little bit by throwing those goo mines and impacts. They do know he's behind that half wall now, however, it doesn't look like he's actually making any progress by doing so. Glaz throwing his first, or considering throwing his first smoke grenade there to cover the entryway into sight and maybe give him a nice angle to take out the lead on the half wall. However, Thermite just pushing in by himself, not really able to do anything there. Does get taken out by Alats.
Nice pre-fire from the Legion. We'll see the smoke grenades come out for JS, wanting to get some push here and try to clear out in the back and take control of half wall. You will see some help coming out. Possible plant coming down, but Thatcher will not quite be able to get inside enough. Plant not happening just yet. Possible another pre-fire attempt coming out from Alats. Doing very well to hold this down by himself against the overwhelming numbers coming out from the attackers. Plant will come down. Why are you planting when you know that the Legion is there? My word. Thatcher will fall to the T5. Glazer will get a frag for his own, now pushing in here. We'll find a second frag. There goes the mute. 1 versus 2 in favor of UMCP, and he will also get fragged up by JS, completely pushing in and taking control of this territory, being backed up by the Ash.
Glaz in his own right is one of the stronger fraggers in the game just due to the high damage of his rifle and being able to spot out defenders so easily because of that thermal scope. So even if you are a doc and you have that ACOG and you have those stim shots, it's still not a fight you really want to take head on.
Absolutely. Let's see, moving forward, if North Carolina will be able to pick this up and hold against the very strong Glaz play coming out from JS. We'll see if he's able to make this happen again. I would be very surprised, honestly, if he sticks this Dokkaebi and does not go back to the Glaz, just because of how strong it was previously.
And Dokkaebi is a pretty good operator, I'd say, but the 6-pick onto Glaz is definitely something that we would want to see from him just due to his really good performance last round with it. Like, Dokkaebi will put the Vigil on edge. It'll give them a bit more room to work around if they don't know if there's going to be a call coming out. However, that confusion may only last them so long depending on how active the defenders are on those cams. Overall, looks like we're going to be seeing a pretty similar setup here compared to last round.
Pretty much identical to what we saw previously. I want to point something out here, though. In Fountain right now, you don't have a Mira. Why is Vigil reinforcing the east wall of Fountain?
Right, there's no mirror window to protect there. I think it's purely to stop any sightlines from hallway, but at that point, why use 2 and not just 1?
Did they reinforce the end of Red Hall?
I do not believe so.
Look at that. But, okay, yeah, like there's no reason to waste 2 reinforcements on the east wall of Fountain when you can reinforce the end of Red Hall, just because of how strong them taking control of monitors is, and how little is being dedicated to stopping them from having control of monitors for so long. Because from what I can see right now, there is nobody holding monitors for North Carolina.
And not having anyone in there is honestly a really big loss for them on defense. You lose sightlines onto Red Hall, you lose sightlines down into Courtyard if you open that up. You lose any sort of hold on the balconies and also across between sites as well.
Eternal Nut will lie in wait, trying to see if someone comes around the corner to flank towards his team. But like we talked about, already UMCP has complete control of monitors. No one is there to stop them. Miles is playing below on the Vigil, but he's not really able to do a whole lot from below. I'm surprised that we don't have him playing a Pulse in that position. It would be very strong to possibly get a frag from below, catching some attackers off guard. We'll see JL committing to that Glaz, going off of the Dokkaebi. Something that I quite honestly kind of expected. As we talked about previously, did that smoke cannon get destroyed by the? No, it didn't. Okay.
No.
That would have been
It would have been unfortunate. Yeah. But Thermite being able to get that wall open so early into the round does mean that the defenders are going to have a lot of crunch time in front of them, trying to just come up with a strategy to defend against that. They have 2 minutes, so they have to stop anyone from getting in there and planting. That's going to be a pretty Goliath task for them to take on. That will be a good angle being held from Melon. Does manage to pick off the Ash.
Melon getting aggressive. There goes Eternal Nut off the board.
However, they will know to watch for that now, and Melon making a smart decision to move does actually manage to take out Glaz.
Okay, like this should not be working. Peeking so aggressively into this. We'll see the Legion also find a kill What is happening right now? Cadell number 1 will get thrown out. Cadell number 2 as well. He'll miss his shots. Okay, that is a reinforced wall, I'm afraid. He'll find the wall bang, though. There goes Melon. So we'll see the Legion play behind the half wall. There's no looks to find this frag. He's got plenty of bullets in his magazine for it. He'll look for the pre-fire will hit the Legion's arm and will fall himself. Last man standing for the attackers is the Thatcher. Why wasn't Thatcher pushing this while No Lag pushed this by himself? I just don't see it. The headshot will down the Legion. That is a little interesting there, but that is okay. Now pushing into this, he is so low on HP. He'll get flanked from all sides. One coming from monitors, the other two coming from across the site, and he'll get the round ended in favor of the defenders. North Carolina is able to hold finally against the onslaught coming in from UMCP, just shutting them down with the counter aggression.
Not being able to defend against that aggression was what took them out in that first round, and then it seems like them playing overly aggressive on defense, just almost playing it like an attack round, just running those aggressive peaks, running around corners, just pre-firing angles, it really worked for them. It's something that you don't really expect to see and something you wouldn't really expect to work, but it did. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play off of that momentum moving forward, knowing that maybe that more heavy attacking focus defense is something that might actually work for them going forward. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Valkyrie cam from Dark Hood going out here. Those Valk cams will give them a lot of useful intel. I'm not really sure if it'll be able to do anything in their favor to stop the attackers. However, just having the option to see where the attackers are coming from, getting some good angles, knowing that there's drones coming in or something else might be worth noting. Especially playing in vents. Being able to know if there's anyone inside Vent's unit without that Mira is very useful.
Switching now off to, I mean, Border is a very interesting map, where as they switch off of Armory Lockers onto Workshop, the way like they need to defend this really doesn't change that much. Wherein holding Workshop and servers is very much bound to holding the upstairs because of how much vertical play the attackers can get from it if they so utilize it.
5 seconds.
We'll very pleasantly see North Carolina look to hold the upstairs. We'll see at least one be devoted to that. We'll see the wall reinforced as well to hold this down. Once more, we'll see UMCP spawn in force in the valley. I would possibly guess for either a vertical take coming in through the supply closet, or once more a vertical take pushing into monitors and then across into armory lockers.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a push into monitors or in CCTV just because of how potent that site is, or that area is for holding down onto site. Not to mention, if you can get across and get a foothold in office, then you essentially have the entire second floor cornered off from having the two opposite sides of the building, which means that you have pretty much just a free area to just control. Looks like they might actually be going for a push into Tellers, trying to get some sort of angle onto bathroom and work their way into site that way. We have seen that work in the past if you can get in, just because you're catching them through essentially the back end of their defense, where they just kind of set up a reinforced wall and say, well, that'll just have to hold. If Thermite is able to take that out, that will be a really good area, not only
Is the hatch above reinforced, or is it open?
Yes, the hatch in offices was reinforced. And I believe there was a vigil playing up on it as well.
The hatch above Tellers, is that open? Or is it closed off?
That may be open.
Because it is open.
It is.
Good. That means that this attack will be very dangerous if they're not careful, because the vigil can counterflank from the hatch and really shut down this push. This push from Tellers is very strong. It's countering just how many resources they've devoted to holding the upstairs, but if the defenders are able to retake, this will be very devastating.
Looks like Thermite will be doing the aforementioned plan. Does open up that bathroom wall, going to be giving JS some very nice sight lines into objective. However, Melon going to be going on the flank as smoke. Looks like Pare taking out Valkyrie there.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Yeah, we'll already see one getting picked up by the flank watch. However, we'll see this slow look for the retake now, pushing down into the bathroom hallway. Thatcher will get fragged up by Miles as he's not quite able to beat out the AK. Just complete carnage now as we see multiple defenders trying to flank in from bathroom. We'll see one frag coming out from Legion. and Miles will end out the round. This is the collapse that we talked about. This pushing can be very strong against the vertical hold, but it just does not work if you're able to hold. If you're not able to watch those flanking routes, we'll see UMCP be able to use that to their own advantage and win out the round.
And that thermite hole near the end of the round did actually end up working against them, just because they managed to open up that wall.
That is
but then they had to worry about defenders both from site and from foyer, which is just not a good spot. You can't watch two angles at once.
That is an unfortunate outcome.
Looking forward here, looks like they're going to be running a castle this time instead with a Valkyrie again. Did work out decently for them, however, not really using those cams to their fullest. They did actually end up knowing about it, and it looks like they're going to switch off of being onto an IQ. That's a bit of an interesting choice there, losing a lot of sight pressure for a bit more of a anti-gadget op.
I guess they want to switch off. They want to switch onto this IQ to counter the vigil we've been seeing from North Carolina, but it's. I'm just not sure how effective that's going to be. We'll see them now play their third site, looking to go into customs and supply.
Customs is one of those sites that's really different to defend, is what I'd say. Trying to defend from both detention and also from main entry is already pretty tough, and adding in having to worry about the upstairs of CCTV, that hatch being opened, you have to worry about them coming down from main stairs. It's just not really the most ideal spot to be in, so it's really going to speak to the defenders here if they can actually make that work.
Fortunately, Eternal Nut is back in the game, so next round able to participate for his team. It does appear that we'll see North Carolina actually want to hold monitors this time, which is a nice change of pace. We're trying to stop this verticality. Obviously more effective for holding customs than it was for holding armory lockers, but still nonetheless very good play. Wait, did they just all drop out as this push started that? No, we'll see one left behind. Miles is still up there, holding it down, being backed up by Melon, playing the smoke in the hallway. Playing your smoke this aggressively is got to be a little bit questionable. Melon just getting so aggressive here. Look for the shot, hitting the arm of the Zofia. JS will now look for the refrag, pushing in towards the break room as Smoke tries to hide away and use the smoke to his own advantage. You know, like we'll find one frag. There goes the IQ's gun going off. The 5.52 commander will find Miles, ironically countering the operative that he's intended to counter with the incorrect. Ace 2-0 now left alone against all 5 members aggressing onto him, and JS will finally get the frag onto Melon. And there goes the smoke off the board as well.
That Valkyrie Black Eye going down, they will lose any sort of intel they had on that second floor. It is going to be a rush shootout now down that hatch, assuming that the defenders aren't careful. Looks like Castle peeking that quite bravely does manage to take out one. That is the Habana. However, with that hatch open, the job is already done. It is down to JS and his team to take out anyone else.
3-3 now. About half the time off the clock so far. The defenders doing quite well at holding this off. Yes, the attackers were able to take control of the upstairs, but they've wasted a lot of time, and they've not really been able to do a whole lot with it, as once they cleared the top out, they're not really using this vertical pressure that they didn't gain to do anything with it. And we'll see even JS go down below, not committing to the push.
Looks like they will have to worry about a bit of a flank coming from Castle, assuming they don't drone him out here. Having that Castle there to come back through the hallway is pretty dangerous. However, IQ getting really close to seeing the Legion there standing prone behind that metal detector. Looks like she might hear him moving around down there and just not quite at the angle to see his feet. Does know he's there, but not quite at what position. Looks like Thermite in sight, maybe trying to get that plant down. IQ does manage to pick up the Legion through the floor. It is down to just Valkyrie of Darkhood. Looks like he's going to be pulling off the aggressive play of trying to get a flank around, but IQ there to stop it. Attackers winning round 4. Moving on to round 5 here, last round for NCSU to defend, last round for UMCP to attack. They will be going back up to second floor on Armory and Lockers, bringing a pretty similar team comp to what they've had in the past. However, Dark Hood bringing Mute and a Smoke to finish it off. However, on attack, they're bringing back the Ying, this time bringing a Capitao. Those smokes might be the effectiveness that they needed. Putting that on JS will give him the option to also have his asphyxiation bolts, which are oh so powerful against someone camping in a corner. Here, Chaos bringing that Thatcher Thermite combo of Snacky and Chaos will be really useful for taking out any sort of defense they might have on Armory Wall, which we've seen in the past. Looks like JS being a little indecisive, but ends up returning to Capitao just to make sure that he has that gadget available. Moving forward, it looks like there is going to be a pretty standard defense from UNCS here. Just making sure that they are doing pretty similar stuff. Miles going to be reinforcing both of those fountain walls again. Not quite the most accurate decision based on our previous assessment. However, it can work. It hasn't really done the trick that they've needed in the past, since they haven't really been focusing most of their resources towards CCTV, where the attackers keep coming in through repeatedly, and not learning that mistake will come back to bite them, assuming this happens again. That Mute Jammer once again just trying to stall out that Thermite for as long as possible. Mute juggling that will be nearly impossible with having Thatcher on the enemy team. Looks like UMCP going to be spawning outside in Valley, trying to push up onto Lockers. Going to be holding onto Break Room. It looks like Eternal Nut holding a long angle down into the red hallway from there. Overall, doing a lot of droning here, trying to make sure that they're not going to get caught off with surprise in case there's suddenly a defender inside of CC. But it looks like that's not the case again, except for a Vigil, which they've seen in the past. Looks like Eternal Nut will be sent in to take the Vigil out, if they can find him. Sneck going for that Thermite charge onto Armory Wall, waiting for his buddy Thatcher to come and break whatever Mute Jammers might be present. That British Ball going to be taking out any sort of devices on the other end that will allow Thermite to open up the wall into Armory, giving them that pressure that they really need. Like, JS going to be getting aggressive, peeking that, does know that the Legion of Alats is behind there once more. Those goo mines are effective, those impacts will do a decent amount of damage. However, Eternal going to be taking some pot shots with that Ash breaching round. Looks like Sneck taking quite a bit of damage from that Legion there, and also from the Mute, or from the smoke. Capitao smoking both the wall and half wall out, making sure that they have the option to do that. Plant going down here from Sneck while those Yang grenades go off. That will give them the option to get that diffuser down. Thermite does manage to make it out of sight alive, but just barely. Pure Chaos going to be holding that angle while Thermite gets revived. Eternal Nut taking out one. However, a quick refrag, a double actually, and the defenders managed to take out the diffuser.
No one's watching the diffuser. Oh no! I mean, Nolan did very well to recognize that and just try to stick the diffuse. North Carolina will win a round that they very much, quite frankly, should not have been able to. As we now go into the side switch.
We'll be seeing UNCS up one round here. Moving on to attack, they will be bringing a very, very similar team comp from what we can see so far to what UMCP was having on defense. Instead, opting for a Montagne, a very good choice for pushing up into second floor. Being able to push onside that east balcony will give them a really good foothold inside of small office. And getting that archives plant down will be very nice. Looks like going to be seeing both Bandit and Mute here from UNCS. Overall, pretty good pull, or UMCP, my bad. They're going to be holding those armory walls with a little bit more defensiveness than we saw previously. And that will be probably a much better counter to any Thermite pushes that they might go for. Looks like JS is going to be reinforcing both of those walls there on Fountain as well, something we've talked about previously. Maybe not the smartest decision, but with the amount of hot breach denial they have, it might be the only way that they actually managed to utilize all of it. Overall, moving forward, it looks like they're going to be moving a bit towards CC. Having Eternal Nut below for that roam pressure will be a very nice play on their part. Looks like the hatch in CCTV getting opened, as well as the other above Visa, just to keep those sight lines available for the Vigil to play off of. Another 5-man spawn. Dark Hood and Watermelon pushing up onto that south of balcony, trying to get a foothold on the building, maybe make a quick entrance through and get onto CC like we've previously seen on the opposition. JS and Nolag are going to be trying to stay on site, get their gadgets down, make sure that everything's nice and prepped so that they have an easy a time defending as possible. Overall, the attackers here just kind of slowly, methodically working into break room, keeping some angles onto red hallway, making sure that they don't have any nasty surprises. H2O does spot out the Vigil there, able to take them out. That is one of the roamers off the board. A lot less pressure to worry about and not having to worry about flanks. However, JS managing to get the Nitro Cell. That's Mute being able to take one of the attackers out through the floor. Losing that Ash of Eternal will lose them their head fragger. Claymore there from Thermite going to be watching, making sure that no one flanks them from behind. However, it looks like that won't really be the biggest concern that the defenders have right now with that Thermite opening up Armory Wall. Alat's taking this as his cue, going to be droning out one last time, making sure that there's no defenders in the immediate hallway. Then kind of pushing out towards Armory, trying to get inside to cover his team while they plant. Zofia using her concussion grenades to cover anything there. JS taking out one through the wall. Gonna be going for another, not quite hitting his shots. Alat's gonna be pushing up against the Legion, doesn't have to be worried about those goo mines. One in the foot will cause him a lot of damage and make him fall back all the way into CCTV. Over shots going down into Monty's shield won't matter. And Miles taking out one. Smoke's going down from Alat's going to be covering any sort of angle they might have. JS does notice the Claymore, going to be getting a nice flank here if he can pull this off. Does know that they're planting, shooting through the floor, or the wall there. Not managing to connect any shots. Does know about Thermite out on the balcony, does take some shots, does down him. Miles taking one out, but doesn't know about the Mute behind him, does go down to that too. Very nice retake. No lag getting the defuse, winning that round.
Defenders disabled the diffuser. Defender mission successful.
UMCP taking round 6, really winning that for their team. No lag and Miles just really bringing it together at the end there, or no lag against Miles, bringing it back at the end. Round 7, NCSU has their work cut out for them. It is a 3v3, or a 3-2-3 score. Looks like overall not going to be a lot of change from the defenders here, bringing 4 of the same operators, and 4 of the same as well from attackers. Overall, just going to be seeing if they can reuse those operators a little bit differently, trying to make those strategies work. So 2 nearly identical team comps. JS switching off of Mute onto Pulse. That'll be a very nice pick, and Melon actually bringing out Jackal for I believe the first time in this series. That will be useful. Loading in here. We'll be moving on to first floor workshop and vents units. We've seen in the past the one push that's less common but more effective is that bathroom back push. We might end up seeing with that Montagne a push into ventilation units, one of the easier sites for attackers to defend once they have a plant down.
Hello everybody, hi, I'm the Overseer, and Albatross had to do some admin stuff, so I'll be subbing in for him. Sorry to interrupt, go ahead.
Seconds left.
Looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of
5 seconds.
pretty standard holds here from the defending side. However, using one of their reinforces to cover any sort of second floor holds as well in the meantime.
Leaving that wall that I just focused in on kind of soft might bite the defenders in the rear end if the attackers realize that that wall is soft. They might see that they'll use that wall to get themselves inside, and will use the verticality play that the defenders are trying to employ against them. But we'll see how that goes. Jaeger is going to take out the first drone that's going to be running him out.
And that, however, that will give his position away. Thermite does now know, and hopefully has communicated to his team. It looks like he has communicated that at least to Alats and Melon, that Jaeger is in archives and will be needing to be dealt with. Looks like they were pushing up against the Monty, but that won't be quite the option to take. Taking shots through the wall, not the most effective, as does it not only give away your position, but also opens you up for fire from other angles.
Ooh, looking away just in the wrong time. Ooh.
Overall, JS using that heartbeat scanner to get some picks through the floor. However, Miles refragging one onto Eternal Nut. JS slowly pushing upstairs onto Red Hallway. Going to be trying to flank around towards that Montang that has been causing them so many problems. Darkhood and Miles both there to support as well.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the attackers' initiatives, or their aggression and momentum is starting to slowly abide. Ooh, we're going to see a Monte and Jaeger face off.
Looks like Jaeger does manage to pick up one there. No lag getting behind. Does manage to take out two. Comboed with the pick from Legion does secure the round for defenders. UMCP taking that round. Not a sweat, says Jaeger.
That
Easily
Jaeger,
dealing with a 3v1.
that Jaeger was just dodging below bullets and Montaigne swings. That Jaeger was really the MVP of that round. Just ducking and dodging away from the Montaigne's wrath.
The 5Ds of dodgeball, the 5Ds of siege apparently. Able to just work around those bullets, not having any sort of problems at all. And it's one of those problems with playing the Montagne, is that you do have to worry that as Montagne, you're also blocking your allies' shots. So that Sophia kind of had to really take her time and pick her shots around with the Montagne trying to dodge around as well, which gave Jaeger a bit more opportunity to work with, because he doesn't care. They're all enemies to him.
Yeah,
but
he
to
probably
Sophia,
welcomes
that's
it.
yeah. But to Sophia, that's pretty confusing to see two people and one of them is good, one of them's bad.
Yeah, it's very detrimental to the team. That's and what we saw there was one person keeping a cool head and the other person not keeping a cool head. That Jaeger, only one I'm willing to bet, because he was able to keep a cool head, not freak out about a Montaigne staring right at his face. He said, "I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll just shoot around the shield. And when he closes, I'll just knife him." Whereas the Montaigne was like, "Oh, I gotta block these shots. I gotta get in front of everybody." That is the absolutely wrong choice, and it should have been the other way around. The Montaigne should have been the one who kept the cool and level head, and it should have been the Jaeger who was the one freaking out.
Right, and especially with Montaigne, you have the ability to just sit there. You don't. They can't shoot you. You have a big shield. You just, all you need to do is just sit there, wait for your teammates to use you as their portable cover, and then that's really all you need to take care of.
Exactly. We'll see if the attackers make that same mistake again, because this one beautiful thing about this game is once you make a mistake, you have time to fix your mistakes. The Echo playing upstairs, that's a bit advantageous for the defenders, I will have to say.
It's like JS already using his Nitro Cell just to open up that door, not going to be hitting anyone, the closest person well out of the distance away.
Yeah, that Nitro Cell was a bit of a waste. Perhaps if they wait just a little bit longer. Okay, the Echo is going to back off. Good job, Echo. That's a good man. I'm not actually sure where this Valkyrie is thinking about going, but I think that blind fire was just to try and make some noise.
Pick up some shots through the wall, maybe. Overall, just, I think the defending side seems to be a little nervous, and not really due to any performance-related things. They just seem to be really antsy to try to kind of get these picks and just get the rounds over with.
Yeah. I get a minute 45 left. They did waste a good couple minutes. Oop, that failure from the Legion there. We're going to catch that one. Let me highlight that. Valkyrie is facing off with Montaigne.
And this would have been the perfect time to have that nitro cell available. Just toss it over that shield through the doorway, take out both Zofia and Montang at the same time. But unfortunately, that was used early in the round, and that just shows the importance of knowing how and when to use your gadgets. However, in the background, one getting taken out by Doc, Eternal Nut taking out Dark Hood, but Miles refragging onto JS, taking out that Valkyrie. Looks like it is up to Eternal now to hold down second floor all on his lonesome. Does get some shots onto Thermite, but does get quite a bit of damage. However, he is Doc, so he'll be able to heal that back if he stays in a safe spot.
Yeah, that Montang, I'm sure the Zofia is pretty annoyed with the Montang. I noticed that the Montang kept moving back and forth. Montang supposed to do that.
Glaz of H2O Melon managing to take out Legion. Gonna be a good pick for them there. Eternal being able to take out Miles. That's the Zofia off the board, bringing it back to a 3v3 scenario. Glaz only at half health.
And
Zofia fighting
with
Doc.
Eternal.
Eternal just holding down that diffuser, not letting anything stop him right now. That smoke on the Montang, not going to be doing any damage, but will push him out. H2O Melon is low on health, less than a quarter. Does manage to pick out the Echo quite well with a one-tap headshot, going to be securing that for his team. It is a 2v2 scenario, Smoke and Doc versus Glaz. Doc of Eternal not picking up his third kill for the round, being able to take out that.
He's going to have to go to the diffuser. He has literally no choice, but I'm afraid he's just too slow to even grab that diffuser. Unfortunately, the attacker is just wasting, more or less wasting time. Granted, they were taking their time to be careful, but I feel like maybe it was just a little too slow.
That and the Thermite not really communicating with his team that push. He vaulted into Tellers all by himself, and it ended up really biting his team there. Losing that diffuser to Doc that early in the round when he has the advantage of being able to see that is really unfortunate, because it made them have to scramble and try to reorganize their entire strategy just to be able to get the diffuser back.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Thermite going at it alone. I can see where he was going with that, but he went at it alone with the diffuser with no backup. The diffuser should always go with two people as a bare minimum. Can't just go off it alone. That's the exact reason why the attackers lost. Had the diffuser even been in the hands of Glaz, then since Glaz basically had a free planting position, he could have planted it off, and the defenders would have to retake.
Right, and having to retake against a Glaz is one of the most feared retakes in the game, just because Glaz can hold such long angles with that sniper rifle.
That he can, and it's never good for anybody, regardless. But we'll see how the attackers are going to manage this one this time. Looks like they're bringing the exact same composition, with exception to the Twitch instead of the Montang.
Will be an interesting choice. Overall, their armory not really changing that much for defenders. But the attackers might have a couple tricks up their sleeve to make this work, and they're definitely going to need to make it work since it's match point.
Oh yeah, they definitely will. But you're interested to see how if the attackers take note on the lack of reinforcements in B, on that wall in B, and see if they can't use that against the defenders.
And that will be entirely up to the drone work here from the attacking side, depending on whether or not they take the time to really slowly and methodically drone out through there and try to figure out, hey, what have they set up, how did they set it up, and who do they have defending it?
Yeah.
Looks like JS and Vigil being able to take out that Twitch drone will make Twitch a lot less useful already.
And I think the attackers do a good job of droning things out. They gotta give them props for that. They do have that to their advantage, but we'll just see if they can actually pick up on that.
For sure. And it looks like they're losing a decent amount of droning time already. However, that Twitch drone going to be able to assist Melon in taking out Eternal Nut. That will be their roamer off the board and one of their higher fraggers as well. Looks like they do have a spot onto Pulse as well. Assuming that they can take him out, that will make it a 3v5 and very good for them. Pulse does manage to go down to Melon. Melon is in a very good spot, however getting refragged from the hatch by Snacky Noodle. Overall, it is still in the attacker's favor, 4-3. However, the attackers do have to worry about getting onto site and getting that plant down with only 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. It is down to Smoke to try to hold the entryway from both Armory and main stairs, and that will be rather difficult for him. Snack trying to hold both Workshop and Archives.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like the attackers are going to be going that way. I am... Man, they're all piling up just in East Stairs, with the exception to the Zofia, who's still droning things out for them. Props to her for that, but they do have the numbers advantage. They should use that to their advantage, especially with a minute left on the clock. It's going to be about time crunch time.
Definitely, and they really have to be really efficient with the time that they have left on the board, saying that they have to either take out 3 defenders or work on getting a plant down in only now less than 45 seconds. Really doesn't give them a lot of time to work with. One mistake and any sort of rework to their plans will put them in pretty much pure adrenaline mode, having to run off of only instinct. Looks like Dark Hood going to be going alone without his team, pushing up a red hallway. Might get spotted out by one of the defenders here. Smoke missing his smoke grenade throw there. Will be very detrimental there. However, he does manage to get one onto Dark Hood and also take out Alats. Going to be very effective there. The Hibana actually down. The diffuser does manage to get planted. Going for the pickup. Does manage to spot that out to his team. Does have 1 smoke canister left. Might end up throwing that here. No Light getting 2. It is down to just Dark Hood to hold this for his team. Dark Hood going down. The diffuser will go to the defenders, taking this game.
Yeah, they're going to win this game. I can't help but feel that Hibana just kind of gave up there at the end there. She kind of just stared off into the distance and was just going to, oh.
Yeah, and being in that 1v3, especially on match point, has to be a very defeating feeling. UMCP taking that map. Overall, very well played by them this round. Not really letting anything stand in their way on that defense side, just showing how much they can hold that border. 6-3 compared to 6-5 earlier. That margin will be important.
Both teams did really good this game. I think everybody should go home proud of what they did. Both teams gave a really good fight, but just University of Maryland just came out on top. But that sort of thing just, you know, it comes with the territory. Really glad to see. I think throughout we had a pretty even fight from both teams, I would say.
Absolutely. Oregon was really close, and just seeing the constant trade back and forth, blue, orange, just really like showed that these teams were really fighting for the top.
Yeah, they were fighting for the top, and they were pretty evenly paced, I would say.
Absolutely. However, when it moved on to border, that did become a bit more apparent, just the difference between UMCP and UNSC. Just knowing that they could win with double the matches, just really showing that they have that ability. Like, UNSC just not really taking their defense, I wouldn't say as seriously. Overall, I think if they go back and watch it, they'll see a lot of just little mistakes that they repeated, and just cleaning those up will really go a long way towards making a huge difference in their play.
Oh no, yeah, it really did make a huge difference, and we saw that quite obviously. Man, that was a great stream. We have another one coming right up. We are a bit over schedule, so everybody just stick around, and we're gonna have a stream coming up here in a little bit. Do you have any more closing thoughts?
Overall, I just want to say really great job to both of the teams that played right now. That was amazing to watch from an overhead perspective. I'm sure it was great to play in from both of the players' perspectives as well. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in, and I hope that everyone enjoyed it. Thanks for coming, and make sure to stay tuned for our next match.
Yeah, stay tuned, everybody.